If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, and today we're going to break down your toxic money beliefs by creating a true story of abundance. Your money story is up to you. If the beliefs you currently have around money aren't serving you, then make the decision today to create your new money story. What you claim for yourself, you end up calling into existence. And this episode topic came from one of our incredible listeners. I'll just share her first name since she did not let me know if it was okay to use her last name or not. So shout out to Shaz. And she DM'd me on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany, sharing how much she loves and appreciates the show, and then also shared a suggested topic. So if there's certain topics, certain beliefs that keep coming up in your head around money, around success, stuff you're struggling with in your business, just DM me and let me know. I don't have to use your name at all, even if you don't want your first name, but you'll end up getting the episode you want because what you ask for, I deliver on. It's that simple. So Shaz writes, I can't believe I'm having a conversation with you. I'd appreciate tips on going deeper than journaling and rewriting our story we tell ourselves by speaking it into our lives. While I was growing up, the family story, aka my limiting belief, was that being rich is not for us. No matter how hard we work, we will only ever have a tiny bit more than enough. I want to be mega rich to enjoy life and be super generous to others, and I'm running various businesses and working fucking hard. And I know you say less is more, so I'm learning to be more strategic. What non-standard techniques can I use to break down the story so it's no longer a belief? I love you guys, and I hear you on the non-standard. We don't do anything basic here at Project Me. You want to know why? Because basic shit gets basic results. Basic content, basic programs, basic offers attracts basic people, and none of your asses are basic, okay? Like, that doesn't interest me. And basic people don't end up doing big things. And all of you are attracted to the show is because you want to do big things. You want to make a big impact in the world. And that looks different for everybody. That doesn't mean that necessarily you want to make millions, or maybe you do. Maybe it's that you just want to be able to help 25 people a month, or you want to be able to make great money while doing something that feels fulfilling and impacting the world and doing good in the world and paying back and helping people in a way that you wish you were helped. Maybe this is your way of paying it forward. It looks different for everyone, but you want something bigger than where you're at now, and that's why you're here. And one of the main reasons why you don't feel like you're getting it as fast as you would like, it doesn't seem as easy. It feels like you're taking 2 steps ahead, 2 steps back. You're kind of like staying in neutral, but yet you feel like she just said, she's working so fucking hard, trying all the things. And then you see these other people, because we all do it. You see other people in your industry, in your niche, maybe who you went to college with, who you used to work with, whatever, that it seems like, God, it seems so easy for them. It comes so naturally for them. It came so much faster for them. Why is it so hard for me? I used to look around at people all the time and say this. I had this best friend, and she's not out of my life. I just detached myself from her. She's not a bad person. She's just living out her own reality. But wow, was I envious? And if I'm being real, there were times of jealousy, especially when I was kind of like at my lowest or at my worst or at a peak frustration. That's when those like nasty traits of ours come out, and we all have them. And it seemed like we were both working for the same company. And I would say we both had a pretty equivalent skill sets in terms of like years of experience, in terms of talent, in terms of our gifts. They're pretty similar. And man, she had it so easy. It's like, she would reach the goals in the company easily. She would get the guys, these great guys, have all these dates with great guys and guys who take her on trips easily. If she wanted to make a certain amount in bonus, because in the pharma sales world, a lot of stuff is on bonuses, she would get it. And she barely worked. That's the part that pissed me off the most, is like if she was like busting it, I'd be like, okay, like I might be a little envious because I was busting it too, but I would have like kind of like mad props. But she wasn't working hard for it, and I was killing myself. And maybe sometimes I would get some of these things personally and professionally, but nowhere near as where she was at and how easy it was and effortless it was. And it was like, God, what am I missing here? Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't get it. And I said something similar to the listener when she said, like, maybe it's just like kind of like our lot. This is just how it is in our family. This is our legacy. This is just how it works. I thought these were just like the cards I was dealt. And it was just like a shitty hand. Like maybe in some areas of my life, I had some good cards, but like in this area, I had some shit cards. And when you looked at my past and my upbringing, it matched. Yeah, I had the privilege of being white, privilege of living in a rich community, privilege of being raised in a family with a lot of money. But then I also had the horror show on the other side of being severely abused, no self-esteem, and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like, well, I guess some kind of taught me like, oh yeah, I mean, maybe that's a price you have to pay when you've been raised with some money, or you've been raised with some things, or been able to have your education paid for or whatnot. Maybe this is the catch. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out. Well, number one is figuring it out is like being in a rocking chair expecting to get somewhere. Figuring it out is a way to just overanalyze, overthink, stay in your head. And it kind of tricks you into thinking like, well, if I just figured it out, then miraculously things would change. Figuring it out is interesting insight, interesting and sometimes very valuable information, even helpful information, but it's not going to get you there. What's going to get you there is taking different action and being humble and willing to do uncomfortable things, invest uncomfortable amounts of time, energy, money, mental bandwidth, emotional work in order to get there. That's what it's going to be. But figuring it out on your own, chewing on it, analyzing it, obsessing over it, you're just tricking yourself. It's not going to happen. Remember this, if nothing else, because it will happen throughout your entire life. You're going to have intense emotions come up around money. Maybe you're in that space right now. And this happens because of what money represents to you. You have inherited beliefs and have visceral responses to receiving money, losing money, and desiring money that will, without a doubt, control your life if left unaddressed. You don't magically become abundant. You don't magically manifest. You must do inner work to believe you are already abundant, while managing and repelling the thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs that will come up around money. You've got to do both of those. Is it synergistically? That sounds like a really smart word. And it might not be one, but you know what? We're going to go with it. Synergistically. And I could not spell it even if someone gave me $1 million right now. Both strangers and loved ones will project their own money noise onto you. Interesting slip of words, though, that I said protect. Because when people are projecting, including you, including when I do it, it is a form of self-protection. So when both strangers and loved ones project their own money noise onto you, and if you aren't managing your own money energy daily, if you aren't managing that field and keeping your own money house in order, you will quickly absorb that abundance repelling energy that they're projecting onto, even if it's done innocently, which most of it is. You'll end up absorbing it without realizing it. You can end up absorbing it by listening to the news, by following certain people on social media, by being just around groups of people who are making jokes about, oh, well, we're always going to be broke asses, or yeah, can't wait till Friday when it's payday, or oh, now they've raised the gas prices and now how do they expect us to be able to afford this, that, or the other? My guess is, without knowing this listener's full story who submitted this topic request, is that her family all talks like this, because if they have a belief that we'll just have enough, right? That's the story. We'll just have enough and nothing more. Being rich isn't for us. No matter how hard we work, we'll just have a little bit more than enough. If that is their belief, then their words, their actions, and behaviors all support that belief. So then they're probably saying these kinds of things of, well, I don't know. It's just how it is. It's how we've been our whole family. We're just going to we should just be happy that we just have more than enough. And we're not going to be able to buy that. That's not for us. Like luxury car, taking more than a trip a year. Like that's just not how it works in our family. We're not those people. And what does that end up doing? You keep talking and exhibiting behaviors and habits and patterns that are supporting this belief that is totally limiting, that's been passed down from generations. And it just keeps putting more roots in the ground for this belief, just more and more roots. We need to use some root killer, which those of you who are into gardening know, like you need to use an acidic substance, right? To kill those roots. We need to kill those roots and stop them from growing. And these roots, some of these are like, imagine like a root of a giant oak tree. I mean, these are deep roots that have been worked for decades and decades and decades. But all of those can be killed really quickly. They can be killed off quickly. We can't control those around us. We can't make other people kill their own roots and associations with these beliefs. And that's not our job. Your job is to manage your own money field and your own money story. And when you do that and stop trying to influence others around you, stop trying to get into arguments and saying, oh, well, it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to be this way, or questioning the family story, right? You start really questioning and pushing on and poking on someone's rooted belief on any topic, but especially money, since it's so emotionally charged, they're going to come back at you with all the reasons why you're crazy. Then they're going to project stuff on you. It's just a waste of energy. Use that energy instead of managing your own money house. And here's how we're going to do it. So just as you have to prioritize your physical wellness daily if you want to feel your best, you almost must prioritize your money mindset daily if you want to have true financial freedom. So if you make the choice to be lazy or inconsistent with it, because it's like, I get what you're saying, Tiff. I've heard it from you. I've heard it from some other people's books I've read, and I believe it's important, yet you still aren't doing it. And believe me, I do this shit in other areas of my life. Well, then, if you want what you say you want, and you trust and respect and value what I have to share, because I've got the receipts, then you got to ask yourself, why am I being inconsistent with something that I do believe is worth me experimenting with? I do believe this is a better way than how I've been operating. Well, then why are you not being consistent with it? And this can be for anything in your life, right? This can be with your physical wellness. This can be with your energy level. This can be with your business, or making money in your business, or some other goal that you have. So I want you to take a look at first, what is your payoff for not doing the daily money mindset work? What is the payoff for you for not downloading my free Summer Abundance walking guided meditation series? That's incredible. And I have another meditation series that I launched last year, Abundance series, that you can also download. Why are you not putting these practices into place? Why not when they're right there for you? Why has this not become part of your routine, just like washing your face and putting 5,000 potions on your face and brushing your teeth and your coffee? Why is that? My guess is because you don't see an instant gratification from it. My guess is because you don't have absolute certainty, a belief of certainty that if you do these things, there will be a payoff. Maybe you do believe, yeah, it worked for Tiffany, but, low key, there's probably some other reasons why it worked for Tiffany and not me. I mean, she's got this going on. She's got that going on, maybe because of this, that, or the other. But, it's not like magic. I never fucking said it was magic. It's not. What it is a daily discipline. That's the catch, is doing the discipline. Just like the catch, if you want to have a healthier, fit body, that's the catch, is the discipline. It's the daily discipline, and this doesn't need to be for hours every day, of what you put energy to, what you put money towards, what you put attention and devotion towards grows. So if you're putting attention and devotion and energy towards focusing on, God, self-doubt, or this is not working, I'm never going to get ahead, maybe this isn't for me, I see it's for other people, but I have no examples in my family of anyone being wildly successful or even being remotely classified as rich. So who the hell am I to think that it's going to be me? And what are my family members going to think of me if it is me? And if I were coaching you, girl, and I know you're listening, I would say, my gut, after coaching hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm not saying this is at top of mind consciousness for you, but I'm going to bring it to your consciousness so you can work on it, which is why, by the way, none of us can do this kind of work in our money house, in our business, in our relationships, without working with someone who is a professional at coaching you. This is why you'll never see an athlete, a music artist, an actor, a singer. You'll never see these people without having a coach, if not multiple coaches. I don't know one successful person in any industry who doesn't have it. It's because we can't do this alone and we can't see our own blind spots. It's easy for us to advise other people. It's easy for us to point out the problems in other people's lives. It's even easy for some of us who've done more work and are a little more evolved and open-minded and have humility. It's even easy for us to see our shortcomings, character defects, and stuff like that. We can see some of them, but to think you can see them all, wow, that's your ego really, really stepping in there to trick you. That's a tricky one there, because that's impossible, and it's kind of arrogant when you think about it. But what I would say to her is, my guess is, the little girl inside of you, that little you, is scared because what would happen if you did become rich? How would the people in your family treat you? My guess is they throw shade at rich people. They throw shade at showy people. There's like a side eye that goes on, even though they kind of low key want it. There's some commentary and energy around it. And you don't want that directed at you. You don't want to not fit in with your family. You don't want to stand out. Maybe it's a fear of, then you would be even hyper responsible for all these people. And that sounds like a lot of pressure. And what would they think of you? There's stuff in there. And obviously there's many of you listening that this probably resonated. So I want you to ask yourself the question. One is, right, why are you avoiding doing this work? If you do believe me and trust me that this work does work. And because what you're doing right now isn't working. So why wouldn't you try this? What I'm teaching you, if you even do what I'm teaching you to do on your own without hiring me, I give it to you for free. So on top of it, it's free. So why aren't you doing it? And I'm not saying it for you to beat yourself up like I'm a piece of shit, I don't follow through with anything, I'm lazy, I have ADHD, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it for that. I want you to look at it as an observation of yourself and go like a curiosity. Why is that? Because typically when you don't follow through with something that would absolutely help you, and I know it would, there's no way that this would not have you recreate a new money story for yourself, and in turn would impact your thoughts, your behaviors, your energy, your actions, everything around it, which in turn would without a doubt have money flowing to you in a very short period of time. I can promise you that. But you have a resistance because you believe that you're going to have to lose something, trade something, something bad might happen if you get that. And it might be buried, right? Where you can't necessarily immediately access it. But at least put that question out to the universe, to God, to yourself, and then do that guided abundance walk. And it'll come up. Just trust it'll come up. As you do the walk, you're going to have a memory. You're going to have something come up and go, oh my God, that's it. And again, just because you figured out why you're in resistance, that doesn't mean everything's going to change. You still have to take action. You have to do it anyway. You have to remind that scared little girl, the scared version of yourself, that anxious version of yourself, the traumatized version of yourself, the abused version of yourself, because that person lives within you. They never go away. You have to let him or her know, listen, it's safe. I've got you. We're going to experiment in doing with this. It's safe to be wealthy. It's safe to make a lot of money. It's safe for us to not have to work hard for our money. It's safe. It's okay. We can trust this. It's safe and it's secure. In fact, the other way we've been operating is dangerous to us. It's not working for us. It's depleting us. It's sucking the joy out of our life. It's not creating the financial freedom we desire, to have the options and the opportunities and the experiences that we desire and we deserve. So we're going to experiment with another way. And this way is going to feel hard and awkward and uncomfortable and scary at first, but we're going to do this because our current way isn't working. And it's safe. It's safe for me to be rich. It's safe for me to be wealthy. It's safe for me to make more money than anyone ever has in my family. It's safe for me to out-earn my partner. It's safe for me to be so rich, I have so much money that I don't even know what to do with it. It is safe. That's really what it comes down to, is that you're afraid it can't be that simple. It can't be that I need to strategically do less to make more. It can't be as simple as I apply for Tiffany's 6-month mastermind and have her and her team and have that support and guidance and the how and the implementation and the actions being done in my business for 6 months. And I'm scared to invest that kind of money. I'm scared to apply. What if she doesn't accept me? I'm scared to find out how much this could cost. But you wouldn't be scared if you knew that this absolutely was going to work for you. If you knew it was going to pay off, you wouldn't be scared. You'd be like, damn it, I need to pause this right now and apply. You get what I'm saying? There's this part of you that's like, I don't know if it's going to work. And then if I spend that money and it doesn't work, and who am I to spend that money? Who am I to think that I can have this kind of support? What's going to be required of me having the support? Is Tiffany going to make me work 10 times harder than I'm always working? Am I going to have to dance on Instagram? Am I going to have to start a TikTok? Am I going to have to hire all these people? Am I going to have to somehow figure out tech shit when I don't know how to do tech? That's all fear and anxiety thoughts that are coming up to keep you in a spot where you don't get what you want. What action are you going to take that aligns with what you're saying you want? if you want to be rich, you need to take a rich action. And you continuing to try to figure out, do it on your own, Googling shit, copying my shit, watching other people's stuff and trying to reverse engineer it. Yeah, you might get a little bit. You might get some results for it, but you're not going to really get what you want. You're feeling like you have to trade something or you're not yet ready yet. And that's just that scared voice in your mind. So what action would you take knowing there's no way this couldn't pay off for you? Knowing there's no way that doing this daily money mindset work, there's no way that that couldn't put you ahead. Of course it will, because what you're doing now isn't working. So there's only one way it can go. And then some of you are going, yeah, but I've tried this, that, and the other, Tiffany, and that's not worked for me before. Yeah, well, I've tried a lot of shit too that didn't work for me. Sometimes it's the timing in your life. Sometimes it's because you didn't want it to work because you were so angry about other childhood shit and society shit and other stuff going on in your life. Sometimes it just wasn't the right program, wasn't the right course, wasn't the right modality for you because there isn't a one size fits all. Maybe now you're finally sick enough, and this is where I want you to be to apply for my mastermind. I want you to be fed up, sick enough, and frustrated enough of where you're currently at in your financial life, in your business, where you are at a point where you're waving the white flag and you're like, I am willing to do something different. I'm willing to do what it takes, and I'm humble and I want to learn. Show me the how, and I'm here for it. And I want you to be terrified because that shows me that you care. I want you to have enough on the line in your life, financially, emotionally, mentally. I want you to have enough on the line so that motivates you to show up. This is where you use your pain. This is where you use your comfort. Use that pain to propel you. Use your discomfort to fuel your discipline. You've got to use it. Where do you think all of this was born by? How did I get all the millions in my bank account? Because I did not want to feel trapped. And that is how I felt in my childhood. That's how I felt in the corporate world. I felt trapped and controlled, and fuck no. No one is going to control my options, my freedom, my lifestyle. No one is going to control that. And I don't want that for any of you. And I'm not going to let amount of work control that, time control that, a person control that, a company control that, an institution control that. Hell no. And I use that to propel me and fuel me to invest in things, show up when I didn't feel like it, do scary stuff that felt awkward and even terrifying. Use that. You don't have much time. We're about to close the applications to my ProjectME 6-month mastermind experience. You will not be able to access this until late 2023. If I decide to do it again, there's no guarantee that I'm going to do it again. There's a lot that I have to pour out to support you guys for 6 months to make sure you get the results. Because I know on my end, everything I teach and everything we do, absolutely 100% will get results as long as you show up. But the first step is to apply, and then we'll see if it's a great fit for you at this time. And if it's not, I'll also tell you and I'll point you in a direction. No, this is not some kind of like a coaching opportunity, but I don't need to accept anyone as a client or in any of my programs for money. I'm not there. There was a point in my first business when I did that because, I had to pay the mortgage, and that also didn't end well. You don't want to take people's money just because it's there. It usually ends up being your most expensive thing that you've ever done. You can swipe up. The application is right there in the show notes. So swipe up, apply, and make sure you check your junk mail as well, because it seems like people's acceptance emails, some of them are ending up in junk. So make sure you keep checking your regular mail and your junk email, because the link in there, once you are approved, the link in there to schedule the application call, and you need to book that right away. I can't add any more time slots for those application calls. Like, I've got a lot of other stuff going on. So you want to make sure that you get in that call. And once this mastermind is full and I've deemed it to be complete in terms of the container, it's closed. This is unmatched. This is not a rah-rah camaraderie mastermind. You guys have enough information. You can go find information. There's tons of information around. What you need is implementation so that fresh cash is flowing in your business where you are not working yourself to the bone to get it, because that's not sustainable and you can't scale in that way. So swipe up. It's in the show notes. That's all you got to do. And I also have it in the link in my bio on Instagram at ProjectME with Tiffany. If you loved this episode and it fired you up, it really got you thinking, share it with someone. Share it with someone in your family. Share it in your social media. Email it to somebody. Say give it to the first 2 people you think about, because there's a reason why it's come up for you. Share it with them. If you leave me a 5-star written review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that really helps the show grow. It helps so many things. It puts a big smile on my face. You can put your name and Instagram handle in the review if you would like, and send me a DM, and we would love to send you something special to say thank you for being such a great listener and showing your gratitude for the show. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.